Hello, everyone. I thought that I would kind of give you guys this video so you can learn more about me and so you can kind of understand where I started, how I came from very humble beginnings. And, I've been able to achieve what I've been able to achieve only by hard work and dedication. It's not because I was like born into this ultra successful family. Just to show y'all like what's possible when you put your mind to something and you don't allow your current circumstances to dictate your future. Y'all know, or maybe you don't know, but I got into entrepreneurship in 2018. By 2021, I was able to fire my boss. By 2022, I moved out of the country to my dream city. 2023, end up making the most money ever, to that business coming to a screeching halt and me just having to go into a season of, Lord, I need you to do this, and him revealing to me digital products and how digital products just grew into me becoming a business coach, because I knew that that's what I was called to a long time ago. Yeah, how I got to where I am now and how he is gifting me with this business and being the CEO of this business, and how I am just trusting him on this journey. And I just want to make this video so that you can be inspired maybe, or you can take something from my story, but you can really realize that everything comes to those who is willing to put in the work and put God first in their journey and in their life. And so yeah, without further ado, we'll just go ahead and get into it. So growing up, I was raised by my mom. She was a single mom. I would see her working multiple jobs. She worked at the post office, also worked at the group home. Most of the time when she was home, she would sleep from working 16 hours a day. And I just even remember seeing that as a child and realizing all of the sacrifice that she had to make as a single mom. And so in the back of my mind somewhere, I kind of just put that in the file cabinet, and just wanted to be able to have some type of job that would allow me to actually be present for my kids. Now, this is no shade to my mom at all. So whenever I end up graduating from high school, I did go on to go to college, but I end up dropping out just because at that point, when I dropped out my junior year, and I was living on my own. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm going to college, but it's not like I was getting a refund check. I'm like, I got to start paying bills. And so I entered into the workforce at 21 and dropped out of college. I did not qualify for financial aid. My mom made barely just over the amount of money for me to qualify for financial aid. I think it was like $30,000 or whatever it was back then. But whatever the amount was, my mom made too much money, so I didn't qualify for government, none of that. My mom had a decent job. We grew up blue collar. So I say all that to say there was no refund check or nothing like that. My mom had to take out loans for me to go to school. And I couldn't put my focus fully into school because I have bills coming in now, and it was just unrealistic for my mom to pay her bills and pay mine as well. So I just took the decision, hey, I'm gonna drop out. I thought that I would end up going back to college and finishing, but that never happened. Dropped out of college, entered the workforce, and my job that I ended up getting, I worked at a gas station. I worked at this gas station called Speedway. Listen, y'all, I loved my job. Love my job at the gas station. I love the customers. I love my people that I worked with. It was just a nice job. I remember I got paid $7.25 when I was working at that job. And I remember I also ended up getting hired at a factory while I was working at Speedway. And at this factory job, I ended up getting paid $9.60. And you could not tell me nothing. Oh, mama, we made it. $9.60. Oh, I'm rich. Like, y'all, I know that this is just wild, but I was so excited about this $9.60. And I knew it wasn't just me, because when I told my family members and my friends how much money I was making, they like, put me on. Like, well, what's going on? Where does shop at? I need to get in there too. How do I apply? And so I told my family members about it too. They ended up working at this job as well. I just want y'all to understand like the mindset of me at this point in my life. I would work at the gas station from 2 to 9, and then I would work overnights from 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. at the shop, y'all. Listen, you couldn't tell me nothing. I was making $700 to $900 a week. My bills weren't even that much. I could pay all my bills with one check. And so In essence, when you talk about debt to income ratio, I was living the vida loca. So fast forward to about April 2013. I'm working at the factory, and my mom calls me. She was like, hey, they're having a job where they're hiring for this government position down in Texas. I think that you should apply. I end up just applying because I'm like, okay, like, I'm so young. They're not going to hire me for this government job. To me, in my head, you got to be like 40 or 50 or something like that to work a government job. So I just applied so my mom would leave me alone. And guess what? Lord and behold, they end up sending me an email to come and do the testing for the job. And of course, at this point in time, I'm working at the factory, and I asked them, I said, hey, I got this job interview. Do you mind if I go? I don't know why I told them the truth, but I did. I'm like, do you mind if I go and interview for this? They was like, yeah, no, we're not giving you no days off of that. And I was just baffled. I'm like, dang, Lord, I can't. Okay, cool, whatever. And me and my mind frame, I'm not going to put my for sure job at risk for a possibility. So that was just my mindset then. And the way that the Lord would have it, do you know that I don't even think it was a week later, I ended up getting fired from that job, my factory job, my $9 an hour job, my $700 to $900 a week job. I ended up getting fired. But I understand why I got fired, because God knew that I wouldn't have went otherwise. Oh yeah, I didn't even tell y'all. I ended up quitting my gas station job because I was taking on so many overtime hours at the factory. It didn't make any point for me to keep working the gas station and the factory. So by the time I got fired from the factory job, I didn't have no income coming in at all. So I had to go on unemployment. I ended up getting awarded $800. Can y'all imagine? $800 a month unemployment. That's what I got awarded. I mean, it wasn't like my bills were that much back then anyways, but I guess something is better than nothing. So me and my mom, we ended up driving from Michigan to Texas so that I could go to this job interview, end up going to the next round for the job. There were multiple rounds for you to get hired on. I ended up meeting this girl named Nicole. She was like, hey, we seen each other. We were one of the only few women that were there, especially we were the only black people, the only black women there. And so naturally, we were talking amongst each other. She invited me out. She said, hey, if you want to go and see Dallas, because that's where the job was. It was in Dallas. If you want to have a night on Dallas, just let me know. I'll take you around the city. And that's exactly what happened. Ended up falling in love with Dallas. A couple of months later, moved there. Didn't even have a job, y'all. I just moved there on unemployment. And of course, I'm started looking for jobs and everything like that. So I moved to Dallas July 2023. By November 2013, I ended up getting hired for that government job. In 2018, my sister and I, we decided to go into business together. We started our very own online women's boutique. The way that we were able to start it, we were leveraging the money that we got from our 9-to-5. In my mind, I was going to be at my government job until I was 58. So me doing this business, I was just wanting to make extra income on the side. We started putting out campaigns, started doing marketing. We really didn't know what we were doing, really. We were just throwing spaghetti at the wall and seeing what sticks. And so this is why I always tell people my first business coach was trying. My second business coach was figuring it out. Trying and figuring it out. Trying and figuring it out. So this is how I was able to advance. I went to YouTube University. And since we didn't have a lot of money at that time, we leveraged all the free information that we could. And of course, free information only gets you so far, but it was exactly what we needed to at least get started. We had that business and it was growing. And then boom, the pandemic happened. I remember we would do a lot of pop-up shops on the weekends. Pop-up shops for us was an easy way to offload a lot of inventory in one single day. I mean, we were having $1,700, $3,000 days. It just depends on where it was, who hosted it, how many people came out, of course. And so we loved doing pop-up shops on the weekend. And whenever the pandemic happened, I remember one of the customers, she came up to me because we were selling heels and like club clothes, right? And she was like, yeah, this stuff is cute, but where are we going? Like, the world shut down. So we was like, dang. From that, we ended up deciding to start our unisex apparel brand. So we made two separate businesses. One was, athleisure wear, unisex apparel. The very first one, like I told y'all, it was geared only towards women, and of course, like I said, it was like club clothes. So it was the heels, the purse, the dress, the skirt. So that was the aesthetic of that business. Two totally different demographics. So we had two different entities. Even back then, we knew that it was two avatars, if you will. And so we created our athleisure brand. And when I tell y'all, that sold like hotcakes. And this is during this was the 2021, 2022. There was so much money circulating. Trump pumped out so much money and it was just circulating. So I say all this to say that entrepreneurship was different. I mean, we sold that stuff. It was so easy to sell stuff. When people came to purchase, they wanted it in every color. And I say all this to say that I ended up quitting my job in 2022 during an inflated market. Why am I mentioning this? Because I'm telling you, when I decided to quit my job July of 2022, it was like right after I quit, it just seems like business just, I don't want to say stopped, but it slowed down drastically. People start holding back on their or like people will start spending less. Like the discretionary income just became down, and I'm just like, dang, Lord, did I quit my job too fast? Like, what was I thinking? Like, at least, yeah, it was a pain in the butt to go there, but at least it was a guaranteed check. I'm like, Lord, I don't know what I'm gonna do. So I end up hiring a business coach, and honestly, that wasn't even the type of business coach that I needed at that time. She was a great business coach, love her down, love her life, and I end up spending $4,000 for a marketing agency to help us to try to sell more product. My business coach, $3,200, my very first business coach that I ever had. Right after me leaving my job in July, by August, I had spent $7,000 of my saved up money on trying to reinvest it back into the business. Listen, that marketing company, my silence real loud. You can just tell that it was just a flop. And not only me paying him $4,000 for him to do the Facebook ads, but I had to pay for the ads as well. So I ended up going to like this semi-depression because I'm like, oh my God, I don't know what's going on. The guy that I was dating, I'm like, maybe I should go back to my job. He was like, no, you do not go back to a job after you quit. And so I'm just like, you know what? This gotta work or this gotta work. Lord, this gotta work or this gotta work. My sister and I, we ended up doing a lot of posting on Facebook, meeting up with people to make sales. We were selling at festivals. I would drive from Texas to Michigan because she is half of the business entity, and that's where all of our pop-up shops would be. I would drive there to do pop-up shops to make things happen. Like, it was like I had to figure this out. And that's exactly what we did. We ended up posting some of the items on Poshmark. She ended up putting our merchandise inside of her cousin's store. He ended up owning the store on the bricks. If you're from Flint, then you know exactly where I'm talking about. And so we were able to offload a lot of inventory like that. A couple of months later, I ended up getting into trucking. And when I tell y'all, I ended up making the most money in the shortest amount of time that I ever have in business. And I was addicted. However, it came with a lot of things. Because by this time I already moved to the UAE, and so I'm out of the country. We are 9 hours ahead. I would be waking up at 7 o'clock my time, but then I may not even go to sleep till 3 a.m. So I was only sleeping 3 to 4 hours. I was having to manage a bunch of drivers, speaking with brokers, speaking to customer service, trying to figure out where loads were, making sure people are sending their dispatch forms. I mean, it was just a lot of moving parts. I loved it though. I thrived in it. I was like, oh, this is my juice. Like, this is my thing. Like, I love leading a team. I love the critical thinking part. I love having to overcome the obstacles and listen. But what I told God, I said, Lord, I need something more sustainable, because I was spending a lot of time away from him to make money. After everything I had been through, I never wanted to have a business where it occupied so much of my time that I couldn't spend time with the Lord. So I didn't like that. So I purposely asked him, I said, Lord, I need you to bless me with a business where I could acknowledge you, spend time with you, and I could still earn a living. I don't want to feel far from you, Lord. And when I tell you God will answer your prayers, God will answer your prayers. And when I tell you that business went to making so much money to like come down to a screeching halt. And with trucking, of course, you know that there are some things that are seasonal, but I didn't expect it to go to an absolute screeching halt. So by around, I want to say maybe September, all of the loads had dried up. All of the drivers that I had onboarded, they're calling me, messaging me, hey, I got this bill, that bill, this thing going on. I need to pay my bills. What's going on with the loads? And I'm like, I can't dispatch you loads. I don't have nothing on the board. Like, it's nothing for me to dispatch to you. I will say that was a little bit heartbreaking. That is the hard part about being a leader, is when you have to downsize your team. When you up ramp, because you're scaling, it feels good. People are loving it. They're making money. But then when the industry or the market takes a curve or a dip, or hits a reverse Uno on you, and now you have to drastically downsize, that doesn't feel good as a leader. And I'm like, oh wow, I felt responsible. I remember praying out to God, like, Lord, like, can you just get them something so they can provide for their families? Literally, I would go into prayer for these people, because these are people that I'm building a connection with. They're messaging me. They're telling me their problems. Like, I'm saying good morning to them every day. I mean, it was just a lot for me to even have to manage. But one thing I know my God will do is he will provide. So whatever part of September, October, November, December, I'm back again. I'm living off my savings. Luckily, I have a little bit of foresight, and I understand that with entrepreneurship, you can't go splurging on all of your money just because you made some money, because there will be bear seasons and there will be bull seasons. There will be a time for harvest and there will be a time for famines. So you have to just prepare your finances in that way. I remember I didn't mind this period. I'm like, okay, well, I just get to exist. Like, I get to spend time with the Lord again, because I asked him for something, and I'm like, God, I really don't want to just move abruptly. But I was applying to jobs at this point. I'm like, Lord, maybe I need to go back into the job market. And so I was applying for jobs as a solutions engineer to get into tech. I'm like, Lord, if I'm going to work a job, I'm going to work a high paying one. Okay? And so I was applying to be sales engineers, customer success managers, solutions engineers. And I was getting interviews, and I remember this so vividly, you guys. One day I was driving home from Bible study with one of the women who is in our Bible study. And I told her, that I came here for business, but that I'm currently searching for a job. And she's like, oh, what kind of businesses do you have? And I told her, and she was like, wow, no wonder God isn't giving you a job. You have $1 million gift. And I was stunned. I said, you know what, Lord? I hear you loud and clear. I hear you loud and clear. One thing I know to be true is that God will use people to say certain things to you. And I really took that as a sign, like, maybe I'm not meant to go back into the corporate world. I asked God to never have to work another 9 to 5. During those seasons where you're not seeing the progress that you want to in your business, maybe this is just a season for you and God, so that he can build you up until the next season, to when it's time for you to scale. I remember in January, God dropped this download on me. I won't reveal it now. I'll reveal it to y'all, I'm sure, by the end of this year. I'll let y'all know my testimony. But he dropped a download on me. I wasn't even thinking about business. I wasn't even thinking about nothing. I was just cleaning, listening to YouTube, and I just got this download. And I said, for real, Lord? Like, for real, Lord? And so I was ecstatic. And so after I got the download, or the revelation of what he was going to do in my life in the year of 2024, I'm like, okay, Lord, I need to get back to work. Like, let's get to it. Like, what we doing? I'm on whatever you on, Lord. And it just makes me happy even thinking about the greatness and the goodness of the Lord. Whoosh, Lord Jesus. And y'all know I get emotional. I'm trying, I don't want to get emotional. I want to finish off this video. But I remember going through my notebook. This is the notebook that I have been writing in. Like, it's barely any pages, because I have some ideas, and when I execute, I will ball it up and throw it away. But anyways, I remember years ago, I would start writing out plans on how I would structure my course for teaching people entrepreneurship. Of course, I never wanted to just go out and sell a course until I felt like I had enough skin in the game and I felt like I had value to add to my target customer. So I would just write down little module ideas or little sections of the course that I would do and add into there so I wouldn't forget. I say this all to say that one day in January, we're getting to the good part. We're almost through, right? One day in January, I was like, okay, let me go ahead and make this course because I know I have so much value to add. I've been successful at so many businesses. No, I haven't made $1 million in a day, but people still want my information. People still ask me my information. I love to talk about business. When people ask me something, I light up when it comes to business. I just always knew that was my calling years ago. So I was on YouTube trying to figure out which is the best platform for me to host my business course on. And YouTube do what YouTube does. I click on 5 videos and I get 5 different platforms to host on. I'm like, Lord, that didn't help at all. So now I'm sitting here watching videos, 20-30 minute videos, and they're all telling me different suggestions. So then I go to TikTok. I go to TikTok to find the best place to host your course. And the algorithm do as the algorithm does. And it brings me to this TikTok live. It's this girl, she's on TikTok live, and she's claiming to have made $16,000 that day selling her course. I said, oh Lord, that's all I need to see. That's all I need to see. $16,000 in a day? Oh, okay. So I make it once and I can sell it an unlimited amount of times? Oh, say less, Lord. Say less. I don't know about y'all, but all I need to do is see one person do it. If I see one person do it, then I know that they are no better than me, that they put their jeans on the same way that I do, one leg at a time. I don't know about her, but I know my Father in heaven, oh, he don't play by me. And as long as I put in the work, he will expand my territory. So later on that day, I'm on Canva writing this ebook. I said, oh Lord, this ebook taking a while. It's taking me a lot longer than I thought it would. I said, nah, we might need to do a course. A course may be easier to record than to sit here and type the ebook because, like I said, I had so much information onto this notebook, trying to organize it into an ebook. So like I said, I seen the girl online in January. By February, I started going live every single day. And I made a significant amount of money. I got very comfortable with conducting lives. To me, it reminded me of doing like a demo or a presentation, like the same way that you would do in tech world. Like something started happening with my TikTok lives where I wasn't making as much money because my TikToks wouldn't get pushed. I kept getting a whole bunch of restrictions on my live. And I said, you know what, Lord, I've been focused on one platform for way too long. I need to diversify my digital footprint. Meaning I need to be on Instagram, I need to be on Facebook, and then that's what I start doing. I always tell people, whenever your business plateaus or something, you come to a screeching halt, this is where you need to get mentorship. And so that's exactly what I did. I ended up investing into a business coach, and this business coach ended up teaching me how to get directly in front of my customer. And instead of me having 10K months, I could start having 10K days. And I said, yes, Lord, this is what I'm talking about. So here we are, this is where we are now. But the thing about organic is that there is a little bit of luck. Like you're still relying on the algorithm to push you. And I was tired of relying on luck or the algorithm. Like I don't want to just, hope and pray and keep checking to see if my thing is going to push out to enough people and hope that it's going to get in front of my target audience. Because I've seen a lot of pages who they will go viral. And, usually when things go viral, it's very something that's sensationalized. Like people are arguing in the comments. It's not necessarily because you're about to get a whole bunch of sales. No, but you do get exposure. So I will say that you will get exposure, but you just don't want to go viral. I would rather have a niche down audience than just a whole bunch of scragglies who's never going to purchase from you. It will actually hurt your engagement. I've seen that time and time again. So I say all that to say that in business, you're either going to pay with your time or you're going to pay with your money. So there are a lot of people who have a lot more time than they have money, so they have to go the organic way. Me, I'm going to pay to play because I want to get the results faster. Success, love speed. I love speed too. We all do, if we're being honest, because we get that instant gratification, if we will. But you won't necessarily get that with organic traffic, and this is why a lot of people quit before they actually see the success. Now I'm leveraging organic and paid ads to get the results that I want to get. And yeah, y'all, so this is where we are now. I'm so excited to show y'all how this journey goes, and I will definitely keep y'all updated. Y'all let me know in the comments if y'all have any questions in regards to my journey. And yeah, until next time, I wish you all peace, purpose, and prosperity.